Hey guys, what is going on? I go by the name of Peteonthebeat. This video is going to be another Q&A. So without further ado, I would like to start with the question. It is pretty long question and it covers so many things. It's from Dirk Dengwer. Again, shout out to Dirk Dengwer. So here's the question. What do you think about veganism, vegetarian, raw food including meat, keto, low carb or high carb on one meal a day? No starches are starches, constipating or even food for humans, fructose out of real fruits, fructose on ketogenic diet or low carb diet. What is your opinion about pork, chicken fat, cow fat? Looking forward to hearing from you soon. What a long question. So first of all, I would like to thank you for being a subscriber and asking me questions. It will be my pleasure to provide the answers. So with that being said, I would like to actually start providing the answers for each of those topics. So the first one is veganism, vegetarian, raw food including meat. First of all, I was a vegetarian. This sounds like a joke probably, but I was a vegetarian when I was in 8th grade and I was a chubby kid. I suffered from poor mental performance. Basically, I used to feel like crap. So here I would like to point out that I definitely do not try to offend anybody. I'm not against the vegans, I'm not against the vegetarians or whatever. So me personally, I'm not a vegetarian, I'm not interested in becoming one. But on the other hand, if you believe that you are happy being a vegetarian, you want to be a vegetarian or a vegan, you feel like this allows you to perform at your best throughout the whole day, this does not give you any cravings and you feel great, then stick with it. If it works for you, then it's great for you. It doesn't work for me and this is the main reason why I don't do it. And by the way, when I was a vegetarian, I used to have like some problems with my erection, just a side note. So let's move on to the next one. Raw food including meat. This is pretty good one. I do not do like raw vegetables. I also do not do raw meat, but I used to do a lot of raw eggs back in the days when I was hardcore, like steaks and eggs. 2014, yes, I was inspired by this Gironda. So what I'm trying to explain right here is the fact that I love raw eggs. Raw organic free range eggs, it's a top-notch thing. You can also do like raw organic free range eggs in some sour cream if you're a fan of this type of stuff, like old school bodybuilding shakes and that kind of stuff. On the other hand, as long as for the raw meat, I do not consume raw meat, but my favorite way to prep my steak is actually to cook it only from the outer part, and basically I leave it half cooked, half raw. I hope that makes sense to you. So in order to give you more specific explications, what I mean by this is I got the steak cooked from the outer part, from both outer sides, and in the middle it's like virtually raw. And I do like salt and grass-fed butter and it's virtually raw. It's pretty woody from the inside. The only downside that I see with this is the fact that this way the steak is actually a bit more taxing on my digestive system. So now it's time to move to the next few subjects: keto, low carb, high carb on one meal a day plan. In my personal opinion, the most essential way for the one meal a day plan is a completely ketogenic diet or a paleo diet that includes some safe starches. And what I mean by this is basically the fact that, and this especially when you train, like you're involved in some type of a resistant training like weightlifting and all that, or high volume resistant training, it really doesn't matter if it's with free weights or cables. You want to make sure that your body is able to mobilize your own fats during the fast state. This is extremely like vital. In my personal opinion, the ketogenic state is the most essential way for humans to live and the most essential way for humans to eat. The most essential eating pattern is the one meal a day plan. They go hand to hand. As you probably know, there are two ways to enter the state of ketosis. The first way is the conventional way, restricting carbohydrates, carbohydrate restriction. You're probably already familiar with this. This is basically ketogenic diet. The other way is to restrict food. If you restrict food for an extended period of time, you will probably enter the ketogenic state. If you restrict food and carbohydrates and you like eat only one meal a day, only fat and protein, you're gonna be able to enter the ketogenic state a lot faster, I guarantee. You're probably already familiar with this since you watch my videos. For me, this was the only way to be able to maintain this lifestyle with sleeping less, with training twice a day, with being able to do whatever the fuck I want to do throughout the day without any blood sugar crashes, without higher blood pressure, without any of that stuff. By the way, the higher carbohydrate diets, they give me a lot of high blood pressure, hypertension and all that. Back in the day I used to do all of these like 6 meals a day with the egg whites and the oats, with the protein shakes that are packed with soy and all of that crap. For me, the steaks and eggs diet was a game changer, like the ketogenic diet, because the steaks and eggs diet, it's mostly for people who train a lot, because it's relatively high in protein. The steaks and eggs diet is virtually 50-50. They're almost equal amounts of fats and proteins. So yeah, I hope I covered this one as well. Now let's move on to the next one. Low carb and keto. I just forgot about this, sorry. So the low carb diet, it's not necessarily a ketogenic diet. The low carb diet is a fairly restricted in carbohydrates diet. The ketogenic diet is a diet that will definitely put you in a state of ketosis. When you try to not eat for longer periods of time, extended fasts, 24 hours, 36 hours, 48 hours as an experiment such as I did back in 2015. You want to make sure that you are able to tap to your own fat stores. Our bodies are able to store up to 400 grams of carbohydrates in form of glycogen. Body has already stored up to 40,000 calories in form of body fat. I definitely believe when you try to not eat, it's a lot more practical to be able, of course, to switch between both when you train. But the most practical thing is to be able to use the fats as primary energy source. I hope that answers your question. The thing that I would like to say as an addition is the fact that when I used to do high carb with all of the highly recommended by the fitness industry foods and all of the gurus out there, fitness models and blah 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 or whatever, I used to feel hungry like 24/7. I used to eat 7 meals or 6 meals throughout the day. I used to have the breakfast and all that crap, and I used to feel hungry as a motherfucker. How is that supposed to happen? I used to crave all kinds of food, like all kinds of junk food, and when I adapted to the ketogenic diet, all of it was gone, like this. No cravings, nothing, no hunger pains, no desire for food. Desire for life. The desire for life replaced the desire for food. I hope that makes sense to you. So now let's move to the next one. Starches. Are starches constipating or even food for humans? First of all, I do not believe starches are food for humans. Like carbohydrates, as you probably know, they are not essential macronutrient. We have essential fatty acids and essential amino acids. We do not have essential sugars for the most part. Starches, I prefer to incorporate some safe starches. Those are like really clean sources of glucose, like white basmati rice that is toxins and arsenic free, and yams. There are other types that are considered as safe starches, but me personally, I'm not able to tolerate them. It's not that I don't like them. I really like, for example, jasmine rice, but my body is not able to tolerate it, probably because there are a lot of toxins in this particular rice. So how I see the starches? As I've mentioned, I definitely do not see them as a food. On the other hand, I also definitely do not believe starches are the best choice for everyone out there. But on the other hand, I also do believe starches are something more like a rocket fuel for strength athletes. You see? Because in the end of the day, safe starches might also provide some benefits, especially when you want to improve your physique and that kind of stuff. As you probably already know, the carbohydrates, they retain 2.73 grams of water, and this becomes extremely useful, especially when you do high volume risk, as much blood as possible in a particular muscle area. And when you have carbs and all that, you basically throw a lot more oxygen, you throw a lot more water, you throw the salts, and you're basically able to absorb the other nutrients a lot better. This is how I feel about it, and I definitely believe this is true, especially for me. On the other hand, if you're pretty tall, I'm 6.3, I'm relatively tall, I'm also 200 pounds, the carbohydrates will help you to get like drier and vascular look. This is something that I definitely see as a benefit from the carbohydrates. And the third thing is the fact that the safe starches that I consume, I do not believe they are constipating, but this is something that in my personal opinion varies for each and every individual. If they are constipating for you, I highly recommend you to stay away from that, and I highly also recommend you to keep your colon healthy and basically clean as you can. I hope that makes sense to you. And there is another benefit from the safe starches, and this is the fact that this blood sugar crash and this insulin spike, this actually helps when you do the starches before you go to the bed, if you're like 1 meal a day. And you're also a nocturnal eater, basically, if you do the same thing that I do. The carbohydrates before bed, they will help you with that insulin spike and that blood sugar crash to enter the delta and the REM phases of sleep a lot faster. And I definitely see this as a huge benefit, especially if you want to sleep less. This is extremely useful. So fructose, fruits, I do not consume fruits. Even when I used to do the bodybuilding diet with the 6 meals a day with the high carb, I used to feel like crap after eating fruit. As you probably already know, the fructose is the worst sugar that you can ingest in your body. This is not the glucose from the safe starches. The glucose from the safe starches you're going to turn into a glycogen. You're going to fuel your muscles with glycogen. The fructose you will store as body fat. I actually do not eat fruit. I do not consume any types of fructose since 2011 or something like this. Way before I adapted to the ketogenic diet. Even when I was eating like 6 meals a day with the oats and the brown rice and the other crap, I was staying away from the fructose. This is like the worst thing that you can ingest in your body. Probably besides some heavy compounds. So now it's time to move to the last group of subjects. What is your opinion about pork fat, chicken fat, cow fat? Looking forward to hearing from you soon. This is a great question. I simply do not consume pork meat, but please do not get me wrong. This is not because of some weird like religious purposes. I simply do not like pork. This is it. That there is nothing wrong with it. Matter of fact, a lot of people prefer pork even over steak because they believe that the fatty acid profile of the bacon is like second to none. A lot of people prefer like bacon and eggs over steaks and eggs, but in my personal opinion, the steaks and eggs is the best version, especially for bodybuilders or people who are involved in fitness or other people who simply want to flex. And for the most part, the animal fat, the cow fat, grass-fed butter, grass-fed ghee, whole organic sour cream. I know a lot of people are not able to tolerate dairy, and if you're one of those people, I definitely recommend you stay away from the sour cream. But for me, those are my favorite external fat sources. Besides the fats that I consume with the meat and the fats from the yolks of the eggs. And in my personal opinion, those are the best foods when you really want to enter this like deep state of ketosis. I'm pretty sure the reason for this is pretty obvious for most of the people out there that are interested in keto or whatever, but I'm gonna say it anyway. The reason for this is the fact that the most similar to your own fat that you can ingest in your body is basically the animal fat. Once you adapt your body to burn the animal fats, you're actually pretty close to be able to not eat and rely to your own fat stores. This is the most practical way for the 1 meal a day plan, especially when you train, because you can try to eat whatever you want and basically bust your ass in the gym, and you can end up with panic attacks, tons of anxiety, being lightheaded, mood swings, having this brain fog throughout the day. And me personally, I simply don't want to deal with this stuff, and this is the reason why I stay mostly ketogenic with some occasional consumption of safe starches. And for me, it's all about, again, sleeping less, feeling great, being able to kick ass throughout the day, being able to maintain the overall conditioning that I'm able to maintain throughout the year. You can watch my training videos. I also flex and post on my training videos, so you're going to be able to find out exactly how I look. Besides this, you can also check out my Instagram. Nowadays, I don't even track my calories. I eat until I reach satisfaction, and I'm happy as fuck, to be honest with you. So yeah, basically this is everything I wanted to say. I hope I covered everything. I hope I provided all of the answers. I hope you find the video helpful and useful, and I also hope everything I said makes sense to you. If so, please do not hesitate, click on the thumbs up button down below. If you're new to this YouTube channel, feel free to subscribe. I do like videos for 1 meal a day plan, ketogenic diet, training videos, basically that kind of stuff, like fitness and bodybuilding on 1 meal a day plan with keto and maybe even a little bit of biohacking. Again, I would like to point out that it was my pleasure to answer the question. I would like to thank Dirk Dangler for asking me the question. And yeah guys, this is basically it. Besides this, you can check some articles that I wrote on peteonthebeat.com. That is my site. And you can also follow me on Instagram. It is instagram.com/peteonthebeat. This is my favorite social media. So yeah guys, this is basically it. I'm gonna wrap it up for now. I would like to thank you for watching this video. Please stay tuned for more good work with figuring out what is the best like diet for your 1 meal a day plan, and of course keep flexing. Peace.